Hello, and welcome to 4641 Idaho, here in the Dutchtown neighborhood of St. Louis. And what we have here is another railroad bungalow. I'm not sure how exactly that name got started. I've heard it used locally a lot, and if you look at one of the websites like St. Louis Patina by Chris Nafzinger, he's noted it as well, and I'm sure there's a history to it. I just don't know exactly what it is, and I bet there's an interesting story too. But when this was built in 1909, it was quite an interesting style and quite a novelty. Prior to this, you didn't have the concept of having a home with large rooms all on one level. One-floor houses were small, often thought to be added on to later on. However, these were designed to be built from lot line to lot line almost, so that you could make the house wider on a city lot. Now, 1909, we still have a lot of the holdovers from the previous era, such as the cornicing on the front gutter rail, as well as a smaller front porch, instead of the all the way across bungalow-style porch, which goes up into the roof. So we get up here, climb up the stairs, show you a little bit closer of this cornicing, which really you saw in houses going back to the 1870s and before, 1850s even. Although granted, that would have only been the time from a 1970s house to today when we think about it in current terms, what 1870 to 1909 would be. And here we are in the entryway, which was definitely a focus of these homes. They always had a formal foyer, just like the two-story houses would before, where you had the staircase and a little entry foyer. They did that here too. Now, this one is a little different. These homes always had a door that went through to the small second bedroom in the front. However, they also usually had a second door here that went back into the house. So this could either be used as a home office, or as a room for a lodger, or a relative or mother-in-law, basically, so that they have separate entry and exit without having to go through the whole house. Then we come through into the living room here. Do have the original arches that were kept intact, and the original flooring. This home, again, does have a decorative fireplace, which would have, again, been used just for atmospheric heat, if you will, rather than primary heating source. See some of the detail on the mantelpiece there? Because when this house was built, it was built with central heat through a coal heating plant in the basement. And again, we walk through into the dining room, which is exceptionally large, especially for a two-bedroom house. And probably would have had a fold-away bed in it too, because people didn't have smaller families then. They just used the rooms differently. And then here we have the bathroom. Tiled bathtubs around. And vanity. There are built-in cupboards here up to the ceiling to make good use of the space. And then we walk through into the kitchen. This house does have a wide range of cabinetry in it. And as we look over this way, there's even more space here. And this is quite typical in this era too, of having the other bedroom which opens off of the kitchen. We're literally in the transition to bungalow floor plans where there would have been a central hallway for all the bedrooms to open up off of. So we have this. And judging by the style of this chimney breast, that likely would have been a fireplace in there once upon a time. Here's something interesting that puzzles me. It's obviously a later addition, but why on earth would you put a latch on a closet door that latches it from the outside? You can see there used to be a door that goes out back from this room as well. So this would have had its own exterior exit. Now at some point, and I'm guessing 40s, 50s era, just by looking at the building materials, an addition was put on the back here. And this is it was probably built maybe originally as a screen porch, but has been converted into a 4-season room. Temperature conditioned. And again, you can see where that door frame that's gone used to be. House was designed with entertaining in mind, because you have a nice covered deck here with sunshades and a fan. In addition to a vast patio area down here. And again, there is a 2-car garage, which is nice to have, currently used for storage and whatnot. But you can see from the rear of the house, the way this extension is built, still has the tiles on top of the roof, the same as the brick portion of the house in front. So it does have that parapet wall, which was a very unusual thing to have built on a frame extension. So I'm not sure exactly how that was done, but that's kind of an unusual way of doing it. Makes me think it definitely is an older, at least 60, 70, 80 years old. Generator and air conditioner as well. Both very handy in the storms we have. And then coming back inside, homes like this do give you a generous floor plan and a generous amount of floor space. Again, geared more towards living than sleeping. Your sleeping rooms were kind of considered to be just somewhere to be unconscious at night rather than spend a lot of time. We come downstairs to the basement. And this has seen some changes over time. It's had a sleeping room built in the front. Obviously, these aren't bedrooms because they're in the basement without an actual egress style window. And here we have the unfinished portion of the basement. You can see behind here, there's a little trap door. That would have been the vent for the furnace. Used to vent up there through there, obviously. But you likely also had a fireplace above that would have been in the dining room, which would have been underneath that. Again, it's always interesting to see these basements. They're built of stone, limestone bricks, which were oftentimes quarried in the old St. Louis workhouse. So in this era, St. Louis had a workhouse prison for people who were sentenced there to pay their fines if they couldn't pay it. And they had a quarry. It's down by the river at I-55 and Broadway is where it used to be. But yeah, that's where a lot of the stone that goes into our basements came from. Hope you've enjoyed this tour. Please remember to like and subscribe. And as always, let me know if there's any other types of properties you'd like to see. Thank you.